All right, let's talk about the power of content marketing. I know that there's a lot of you out there that love social media and all the posting and the speed and the fastness and the busyness of social media. Um, I'm just not one of those people, and it's not because I'm old. It's just I've just got much more in my day than as far as time goes than to sit in front of my phone or my pad or my computer, right? So years ago, I had been taught about content marketing, just create content, right? And I was enamored by it. So I started. This was probably back in 2009, and I was doing live videos on a thing called Periscope, and then Facebook opened up to live streaming and so forth, and it's just been on and on and on. So today I want to talk with you about the power of content marketing and how not only powerful it is, but how essential it is, I believe, to building a legacy business. Okay, understanding the need for your audience is critical, right? Because some people just think that, especially when you're on social media, I just keep on, prospecting and pitching to the masses and hope for the best. But there is a very, very real need to have a specific audience. One is customers and leads are essential for any business, including online businesses. A lot of people think, again, because you're online, you don't need that. You can just market to everybody. There's an old cliche, I forget who said it, but if you market to everyone, you'll sell to no one. And I believe wholeheartedly that is true. And number two is building an audience is without question a critical step in converting all of those people that may be following you on social media or whatever process or method you're using into customers. And that's what we're all looking for, right? So let's talk about some of the myths of social media, because I know there are a lot of people out there like, yeah, I understand that, but I'm on TikTok or I'm on Instagram Reels or Facebook or X or whatever it might be, right? Pinterest. But let's just talk a little bit about that, right? First off, social media is not the only way to grow your audience. If someone's telling you that you've got to be on social media or you're not going to grow your audience, I would contend that that's just not true. I know people, including myself, that have built businesses. One gentleman, he deleted all of his apps, social media apps, for a year, and his business grew fivefold. 20% or more growth on everything. It was the best year he'd had in years since he started, right? He's just not big on social media. What does he use? We'll talk about that. Organic reach on social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok is very, very limited. The number of people that your posts really reach out to is very, very small, unfortunately. So unless you've got a lot of money to do paid ads, which again, still don't guarantee the reach, but are better. Social media trends are constantly changing, making it unreliable for sustained audience growth, right? I can't tell you, and I know you see it every time I open up YouTube. It seems like once a month at least, if not more, somebody has put a YouTube video out there that says, let me explain the new changes to TikTok or the new changes to Instagram or what they're doing new on Facebook. It's all the time. They've changed the algorithm again, right? It's always happening. And how do you stay up with that? It's very, very difficult, right? So let's talk about paid ads, because a lot of people say, hey, believe in paid ads. Let's do paid ads. That gentleman I talked to you about a little earlier, by the name of Graham Cochran, doesn't do paid ads. I know a lot of big time business owners that do very little paid ads because they've got such a great organic reach in what they do. Right? Paid ads are expensive and they're not always that effective, right? Because you're talking to a cold market. It's hard to target them, even with all the metrics that you can use and the little codes that you put in there and audiences and all that stuff. It's still hard because they're cold, right? They don't know who you are. Changes in privacy settings like Apple iOS, that's hurt a lot of people, or I shouldn't say hurt a lot of people, it's helped a lot of people too, but have made ads less reliable because because of these privacy and security settings, your emails don't go out, get opened the way they think, so your metrics don't look as good, your ads don't go out to the right people. Apple has put this in place to protect people, but it also it hurts people that do like paid ads and things like that. Okay. Big time online leaders have built big businesses without relying on paid ads. There's a lot of them. Graham Cochrane's one example. All right. With all that said, and again, here's what I don't want you to take away from this. Please don't take away from those first couple of slides that don't do social media marketing and don't do paid ads and everything. If those are working for you and you're building your business and everything is going great, go for it. Make it happen, right? I just want you to know that there is a different and I believe better way to do it. Right? To get rid of all the stress and the nonstop. I can't tell you how many people I see, my family, just sitting there like this, scrolling. Oh, yeah. Oh, do you have a question? Oh, yeah. I got to build my business. I did that for years. I built on Facebook specifically, and all I felt like I was doing was all day long, commenting, replying, doing all these things. It was a job. It wasn't really a business. I was looking for something better. And along came content marketing. And I didn't even know I was doing it. I just needed to tweak it quite a bit and make it better. All right. So here is the power, right? Creating two important words. Free, valuable content is without question the best strategy for building long-term audience growth. It just is. Content marketing includes blogs, YouTube videos, and podcasts, right? These are things that are searchable content that people can go out there on Google or YouTube and search for what you've done. Not like social media, which is almost instantaneously goes away. Okay, so what are the benefits of content marketing and content creation? Plenty, right? First, free to create. Ideal for the beginner who's just getting out there that has a limited budget. You've got to get past some things. I know they've got faceless videos you can create and all that, and you can go down that path. But the reality is that people want to see who they're dealing with. No matter what you look like, no matter what flaws you have, no matter what's going on, they need to put that face to the person, right? And it just works a lot better. I know there are people having success with faceless, but I certainly would recommend that you get out there. Builds character with you. It builds character with your audience. It builds that connection and that relationship that is just there. And it's free to start. You get a YouTube channel. Unless you just live in a world where you don't have a phone, you've got a phone, you've got a YouTube channel that's free, and you just start creating, right? Evergreen. This is the part I love about it. I'm still getting people. I get on average 14,000 unique visitors to my website every month. And a lot of that comes from the evergreen content that blogging and YouTube and podcasts and that delivers. The content remains discoverable long after it's published. Whereas I put something up on Instagram Reel or TikTok and everything else, once someone's sped by it on their feed, the chances of them going back to it are slim to none because everybody else has overwritten it, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to watch that now. I'm going to watch that, right? This should be the mantra of the younger generation a lot of times. Builds trust and credibility. Provides value without selling. And that will foster a very loyal audience. It allows you to just continue to give really good, long, valuable content that will continue to build that know, like, and trust with that relationship, that connection with people. It's hard to do that with 1-minute videos. Shareable. High quality content is more likely to be shared. If you're putting something out, now again, understand it depends if you're one of those people you're trying to target an audience of just people that are looking to watch things and you can get a lot of views and maybe make some money with the marketing that YouTube does for you or that you can get off of TikTok and Instagram and those, then this may not be for you. But if you are trying to target people and teach them what it is that you do and give value and really provide some education and teaching for them, then you want them to be enthralled and just riveted to your long tail content, right? The long videos. And with those, you can really take the time to focus on that value. And once you do that, people are more likely to share it. I get my stuff shared all the time. I know not as much as some of these big players do, but they're more likely to share it. And generosity is magnetic. Generous sharing of knowledge attracts a loyal audience. It's hard for me to share knowledge, and I certainly won't tell you that I don't do shorts. I do YouTube shorts. Once in a while, I'll repurpose that into an Instagram reel. But they're little tidbits, very easily digestible information, but they're not full-blown trainings like I do on my normal YouTube. Okay. What's the right type of content? Well, to me, it's very straightforward, right? Podcasts. Podcasts are great for building loyalty and engagement, and they're easily consumable media, right? I can put a podcast on in my phone in the car. I can hook it up to AirPlay or whatever you're using in your car to pump out the music or whatever, and I can listen to it anytime. I can sit down at night, put my earbuds in, and listen to whatever podcast I want. And if I love those, I can continue to, set it up so I get them all the time. Blogs. This is great. Blogs are great for the search engine optimization and discoverability through the search engines. It's a great way because you can put all the text in there. You can attach it to YouTube videos. Like I always will put a YouTube video in my blog and then give the description of everything underneath to make sure it's all, tracking properly and so forth. And last but not least, are YouTube videos. Very high, the second most popular search engine in the world, and engagement through visual content. People like to see you. They like to hear you. They like to learn from you. They like to be in front of you. And that gives you the opposite. Okay. You notice there's no paid ads, social media, or anything like that. The content is YouTube videos, blogs, and podcasts. And without question, YouTube videos and podcasts are very easy to start off with, especially YouTube videos, because again, it's free. Podcasts are almost totally free. You may have to have a subscription to get them on iTunes and Spotify and that, but it's pretty straightforward. All right, content creation strategy. Here's what I would do first. Identify 4 to 5 content buckets, categories, to streamline your content creation. Don't be too wide. In fact, one of the great marketers out there, Alex Hormozi, worth north of $100 million in net worth. I think it was back in April, said, you know what, I'm done being so wide. I need to narrow down. I've heard a number of webinars over the past couple of weeks of people talking about, this is something new that you need to do, is you need to narrow it down. Okay. I remember this story, and I'm not going to say who told me. I think Ray Higdon was telling me this, but relaying this on one of his videos. But his wife was pregnant at the time and needed to see a chiropractor. And she said, I want to go to this one specifically, right? And it was like 43 miles away or something. And he's like, okay. And he got over there, and there were 2 different, they live in Florida, there were 2 different strip malls, and there were 2 different chiropractors there. And one parking lot was almost empty, and the other parking lot that they were going to was packed. He was like, wow, what is this guy doing? And he had to figure it out. Well, the guy had promoted, he knew everything that chiropractors did, and other chiropractors knew what he did, but he focused on the niche of pregnant women. And because he did that and narrowed it down, did he do all the other things? Yeah. But because he narrowed it down, his parking lot was full, his calendar was full, and he was making a lot of money and helping a lot of women during their pregnancies, right? So identify those buckets and then really narrow it down to, I would narrow it down to 1 or 2 of those and stay as focused as you can on that. Number 2 is create a content plan with at least 5 ideas per bucket to ensure consistency. One of the biggest things that most people fail on is their consistency and the commitment to, doing 1 a week or 2 or 3 a week or whatever they decide to do, because they don't plan ahead and have the ideas. I use Notion for my content planning. You can use just a notepad or whatever you want to use, but I have it laid out so that I know what type of content it is, what category it goes into, when I'm going to post it, what do I, any notes I might have with it, and what platform is it going to be on YouTube? Is it going to be a short? Is it going to be on Instagram? Is it going to be a blog post, a podcast, whatever it's going to be? Rotate content topics to keep your audience engaged and provide a well-rounded brand, right? So stay within those small buckets, but continually rotate them, continually move about so people are, getting pieces of each of those all the time. It keeps them engaged. It keeps them looking forward to what you're doing. It keeps everybody on top of it. All right, get inspired. How do I get inspired? Analyze your competitors. Go to their sites, find out what's the most popular content to generate some ideas of your own. I remember being taught years ago, and I heard it from not only Ray Higdon, but I heard it from John Maxwell and quite a few other major players in the world. And they talked about, how do I get content? And Ray called it ILT. I forget what John Maxwell called it, but it's basically the same as where invest, learn, and teach. I'm investing in my education, my personal growth, my personal development, and so forth. I learn it. I put it into play and see if it works for me, and then I teach other people, right? So if I'm going out to YouTube and blog posts and so forth and seeing what my competition is doing, I learn what they're doing, I put my spin on it of how I've learned from it, and then I use that to generate the income. Use popular topics as a starting point, okay, while adding your own unique perspective, right? Don't just mimic what you're learning, but add your own. Be unique. This is what people, I think, get caught up on, and it's like, well, how do I talk? I do this, and what about all these other things? Should I wear makeup? Should I get all dressed up? Just be natural. Just be yourself. Just be, keep your integrity high, and just be you. All right. Some secrets to effective content. 1, consistency, right? And we talked about that. Publish content regularly to build trust and audience expectations. It's like when you're watching your favorite TV series. Don't you hate it when they go through a season and then there's like a year? We just were watching one. I think it's called Heartland or something. One calls the Heart. It's on Hallmark. And they got done, and at the end they said, well, we'll see you next season in 2025. And it's like, oh, man, why do they have to make such big gaps? Drives people crazy, right? But while they're in the season, I know that every week on Sunday nights, I can sit back and watch that because I know it's going to be there. You need to have that same consistency. Regular content that people can look forward to consuming on a regular basis. Boldness. Be bold and polarizing in your content to stand out and attract superfans. And we've heard this for the longest time. Don't be afraid of being who you are just because it might be against the grain a little bit, right? Sometimes I have people that will reach out and say, oh, you don't have to talk about your faith in God so much, da-da-da. Well, my faith in the Lord Jesus Christ is what drives me in my life. Right? And so if I don't talk about it, if I don't, periodically bring up my faith and what's driving me and what's teaching me and what's giving me the inspiration that I have, then it's not me, right? And just because it's polarizing, I don't do it because it's polarizing. I'm just not afraid of doing it because it's polarizing, right? Conclusion. By leveraging content marketing and focus on consistency and boldness, beginners can grow a loyal and engaging audience. That's just a fact. This is a practical roadmap for transforming followers into customers without relying on social media or paid ads. Again, doesn't mean you can't use social media. Doesn't mean it's not great. It works for a lot of people. Paid ads work for a lot of people. But you need to decide, and this is what it really comes down to. You need to decide what it is you want your business to look like. I go back to Graham Cochran because I love what he and his wife have put together and what they've done, and it's such a consistent thing with so many other big leaders out there now. People that are saying, you know what, I'm done with this social media stuff. I'm going to build a consistent business. And along with that comes the time freedom and the financial freedom that I really want for my family. He very seldom works more than, 30 hours a week or 3 hours a day, if that, 30 hours a month. And the rest of the time, because he's set up and it's all based on content management. Now, the difference with content management is not something that you can do for a little while and necessarily it's going to go away. You've got to make a relatively long-term commitment that you're going to do that. But let's say it takes you 3 hours once a week to get your YouTube video up, okay? And let's say that once a month you do a 2, 3, 4, 5 hour mastermind with your membership or something like that. and you're all, and maybe you put out shorts now and then. It's not a lot of time. And you go out to your membership and you interact with them periodically. You're not overwhelmed with what you're doing, right? And the average person can jump into that and start doing it. Now, it's not going to be that instantaneous thing that people are out there always bragging about. Oh yeah, I was in this for 2 weeks, and look at how much money I made, and look at how I've grown my organization, or grown my TikTok following or my Instagram following. I know people that have Instagram followings of like 3,000 people and are making $1 million a year. They don't have 100,000 people. They don't have 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 people. They've got a very small following. I know people that have got YouTube subscribers of 500 and are making $30,000-$40,000 a month. So it's not about how many. It's about the value and the quality of your content and making good content, right? Okay. Here's what I want to offer you, and we'll close with this. Take your online business to a new level. If you grab our newest course, Online Business Bootcamp, for only $97 right now, I'm going to take you through step by step what you need to know to get started online, how you need to get started, what you need to do to get started online, and some advanced topics that will help you out. Plus, once a week, and you're probably seeing this on the once a week, because this is going to end up being a once a week add-on to the course. Once a week, I'm going to provide a video that will give you some more for the next 12 months. You're going to learn more and more and more every week. And then once a month, we're going to do a huge mastermind that everybody's invited to, and we can just really pick brains. I'm going to try and get some guest speakers and so forth. It's only $197, except for right now. Until the end of this summer, 2024, you can get $50 off and get it for $47 by using the code SUMMER2024. And I am going to be adding to this. I'm going to be just making this better and better and better. But I'm making it so affordable because I want everybody to have a chance to just look at the basics. There are courses out there, I know some of them, that are phenomenal, right? But sometimes they're overwhelming. I'm going to take you through this just like I kind of went through basic training in the military, step by step. You can't move on until you get this step down. You can't move on until you get this step down, so that you know exactly what you need to know to go to the next step. So I hope this has helped you. God bless you. Content is king, and that is just the way it is. You need to learn exactly where you want to go. You need to decide who you want to be, how you want to build your business, and what you want to do. If you're happy with social media and the hustle and bustle of social media and building your business like that, great. Do it. Make it happen. Have success. But if you want to look for something that's more steady, more sturdy, more stable, and more profitable in the long run, I encourage you to start doing some real content management and do some really good business building on either YouTube, blogging, or podcasts. God bless you. See you on the next one.